Jacob. And approved minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Consent agenda. Run through them, Jake.
Yep.
Approved payments and disbursements, A. B is approved liquor license Founder's Days. C, approved resolution 2025-5 trail ride. D, victim services contributions. E, approved cannabis retail registration CBD shop. F, approved tree site attendant hire. G, approved applicant number 35 for work performed on a wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $10,890. H, approved liquor store point of sale system.
I have, it might be a dumb question, just clarification. Why is resolution 2025-5 included as trail ride?
Yeah, I did that so basically somebody would ask a question. So
Good job, John.
The way that we're doing this is just approving a raffle. So through that, we didn't do this resolution, but I highlighted because it is more than a raffle. It's the UTV ride that the fire department started doing last year. And so they should be signs, I imagine, going up to that, not too long. And then it's a big charity ride that they do for the fire department. They raffle off side by side last year and then this year too.
Move to approve consent agenda. Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public comment? Fire.
So Caledonia had some exciting news and one of our big buildings sold. I heard a rumor. Is that
That
true?
is true, yeah.
And is there any insight or information that you know about it that you could share?
Well, it's tough to say. So they plan to renovate it. They're looking for a tenant for the first floor. They're hoping to find somebody that can utilize a space that big. We actually got to go in the building last week, including the basement, which was really something.
It is
And
cool. Their basement is cool.
It's something.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. And so they have a pending application. They'll meet with the EDA in May. And then we'll learn a little bit more about that.
And what about maybe the library moving into there?
I don't know.
How cool would that be?
That was a concept plan from about 10 years ago. So it hasn't had any discussion on the city side in this decade, but they've now heard it.
Well, I just think it would be cool, and here is a great platform to let the community know that the building sold, and maybe there's
Why is it a good idea to put the library there?
because
In your eyes.
because it's the first building that anybody sees pulling into our beautiful historic downtown, and there's big, huge windows there. I think it would be a great place to showcase our library, and it also is a great downstairs business to have for tenants upstairs because it's a quieter daytime type.
Sure.
So I just think it would be, a city-run business, so to speak, would be well-maintained and well-received and really showcase our city. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. You want to comment? You're blue.
Yeah. I think it would be great as I look, I get a lot of people that come in the bakery, not just locals, but people from out of town. I get a fair amount of kids now after school, which is great. They somehow heard that if you go to the bakery and you tell the lady that owns it that you have good grades and you show her the report card, that you get a free donut. So I had 3 boys in, and all of a sudden all these other boys came in. So the downtown, Main Street, it would be a great addition to the Main Street. And it's really hard pressed nowadays to find something in retail that big that would succeed. I mean, it's tough, and you try to find something that isn't a redundancy of what we already have. So the library really presents a nice spot, and I picture the kids down there and everybody right there downtown and being able to go to the other businesses, and it really creates a synergy for the downtown to have the library there. And then I'm sure that the city or the police department, I think it was something you had mentioned, that they could utilize, the upstairs for offices if they need more space. And I wasn't on the ripple effect. I wasn't able to go to the ripple effect meeting because I was in Florida. But really, I didn't have reception. And but then you want to talk about a ripple effect. You put the library in there, and all of a sudden you opened up some space here at the city offices, and then maybe something happens. I don't know if I haven't been following it as well as I could, but maybe we need more room for the police department. Maybe we need more room for the ambulance department. So something like that can be a ripple effect, and I see it taking hold maybe more so than retail. Retail is a tough market these days because of everybody online. I do feel that we can use some more retail in downtown Caledonia, because as I was starting the conversation, when people come in the bakery and they say, where can I get a coffee? And Amanda, I do the, small town, I do the coffee, or I do the donut, she does the coffee, and they love it. And then they say, where else can I go? So it's great. The Crooked Quarter has a sign up. Any place that I can direct these people that they can go within walking distance. They don't want to get back in their car. Again, that's that ripple effect of, okay, I'm here at the bakery, I've had my coffee, now where can I go? So it would be anything that would be in that building, we need to think about how it can bring together what we've already started on Kingston and Maine.
Brian, would you grab that chair and roll it over there for her? Thank you.
This would not be the time to give her that chair and I take the nice chair.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime.
Anybody else got anything to say? Are we good?
I guess I will add a comment to that. With the, it's instant traffic. When the more cars are on the street, the busier town looks. So in retail, if you have a parking lot, whether you're busy or not, a lot of places like some of your large retailers, they want their employees to park in the first 3 or 4 rows, because even when it's slow, it still has the appearance of being busy. Well, it's busy, more people can go there.
Appreciate the input, you guys. Thanks for coming. Jake?
Sure.
We're not doing anything with Public Works, right? Casey's
No.
So
I think most of Casey's updates too will come from Mr. Linney here as well. I have one update. I just needed to say this. There's a lot of people here, so I can say it carefully.
got him nervous.
I had a very productive meeting with MnDOT today. We're going to have another future conversation about the possibility of Warrior. I will say that they don't make any promises at MnDOT, but it's looking pretty good. It would, if we're able to figure this out, it would be a situation where we're going to have to build it ahead of time, and then they will take the bill, would potentially refund us or reimburse us for that when the construction happens. But
Totally.
oh, definitely not. But so again, this is not at all a commitment. It is not by any means something that's going to happen in 2 years. It's just something that we're talking about. But something that like I say, every meeting, I'm just going to keep yelling about it until they give me that road. So we will see what happens. But and then I guess you probably have some more general updates. But next week I'm going to be at the Minnesota City Managers Conference on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the police department's been very busy lately. I've just been working, supporting them quite a bit, and then I do a very small update. We think that there might be cannabis licenses going out the last week of May, as early as that, just because the rulemaking period is done. The lottery that was challenged twice, then a judge came in 2 weeks ago and said that it was actually illegal not to hold it. So they're going to be holding 3 lotteries at the end of May, and we might see a license here by June, possibly. And then actual commercial activity, they're saying is going to take probably another 8 months after that. So very strange situation. We're watching it. I think that's all I got for now.
New business. A is wastewater treatment plant contract amendment.
Well, that's me. So my name is Eric Lenny with Donahue. I've seen several of you before, Jeremy and John. You're new face to me, but hopefully Jake or Casey will give you a little bit of an update since joining the council here. Just perspective, I haven't gave an update for probably since last summer. And the only real update is that the thing is practically built. We're just in the final pieces of making sure it's all ready to go before we turn the key and switch the flow over and kind of have a ribbon cutting, grand opening kind of thing. So expect to see something like that come probably in the June-ish time period. But for now, we did on this current last Friday, right before the packet went out, we got an updated schedule from the contractor. And I just turned one here to prove that I have it. It's not in your packet. But I've marked it up and I've gave them all my comments because that's what they asked for because I do it every time. Basically shows that they're not done yet, but they have tasks and probably some more tasks that they're underestimating or not quite sure how long it's going to take and trying to schedule everybody to get there to turn this thing on. And as part of that, it requires the engineer to still be there and help commission this thing. So perspective, the schedule that I was here with last summer said that they were going to be done in November. And this is 24? Yeah, sorry.
Last November.
Yep. So as Donahue, we've been working basically well beyond that schedule and are finally more or less out of the amended contract extension that you gave us then, with the hope that we were going to be done by then, but we're not. So here I am again, basically saying you are advised, or I'd highly recommend that you continue to have us assist you through construction startup, the most important part. And I presented an amendment to take us from that November of last year, and basically bring us forward to currents with their latest schedule. So ideally, I should have came here last November and said, they're 1 day late. I need more time. But we had some extra in the contract that I've been living on since then. So now we're basically out of money again. And in order to help pay for that, the money withheld from the contractor is adequate to support this added cost here. So that was the same concept last time. There's been more days expended beyond contract. Same concept applies this time.
And I think to our, just even when we, after the original contract end date of July 30th, 2023, that's when we did our largest withholding, when we started withholding, and that was 753,000, and amendment 3 was around 400.
Yep.
So even in that original withholding, we've still withheld enough to cover this, which I'll say again is something identified in the contract documents, that this is a real cost that the city of Caledonia has incurred past the original contract date because the project is not done. So this is something that we can recover from the contractor. It's something that we're explicitly allowed to do.
And the way we presented this, similar to last year, is that it's just at cost, right? It's just at our daily kind of as it goes. If they get done early, they don't have to pay any of the extra, right? So if they finish this tomorrow magically, we won't bill the whole amount in the packet.
So you say you've got a new schedule there. Is that different than what we've got here?
No, I updated it at the last second. Yeah.
Okay.
It was going to be wrong if I didn't catch Jake before he published the packet.
Yep. So we're looking at substantial in May of 25.
Yeah. And I'm hopeful that that stays the case. I was going to stay the night and come to a meeting tomorrow, but that meeting got canceled just this morning. So, not always
And then I don't
as it seems.
think it's highlighted, but substantial in the plant's case means that it's treating water and can do so for 7 straight days. And that's quite a bit further in the startup process too. So it's not as though we're waiting on, one item that's going to come on, then they're going to fill the ditch or anything like that. It's quite a bit more to it than that.
Yeah, they've trialed a lot of other things. They've ran the pumps, they've turned on the screen, they've kind of engaged different motors and make sure that they spin properly and do individual tasks, but kind of all working in sync together is the magic.
Do we need to ask any questions, or are we good here, Jake?
If you don't have any more questions, you know what you want to do.
You, John? Okay. Robert? Good?
Yeah, it seems like it's going the way it's going. Yes, not much of a change.
I don't want to get in the way of the resolution, but the only other thought I might add to it is maybe we could talk on the side, but what do you want to do for once this thing is ready to go for an opening kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Let's make sure figure it out.
Future talk, yep.
What color balloons do you want? Yeah, you kind of lose sight of that stuff when you're in the middle of it, but I thought about that. We got to get them to change the plaque though that says that it was completed in 2022. Slightly off.
I'll move to approve amendment number 4 to the engineering services agreement.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Civil engineer selection.
Okay, so we held interviews, was that 3 weeks ago now? And then so we interviewed the 4 firms total, and then had a follow-up meeting with the general government committee to go over that. Through that meeting, SEH came out as the recommendation, and so I'm here to submit that recommendation to the city council and then see if you have any questions or what discussion you'd like to have on that.
I'm good.
You need a motion for that?
I do.
I'll move to approve SEH as our civil engineer. I'm not sure what the start date will be.
It would be immediate.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. C is Founder's Day Street closure.
Yeah, get out of the way, Frank.
So, we've normally, normally we have, this same Founder's Day street closures. It's just a consent item around this time for the Founder's Day parade, the celebration of the parade. We shut down for Pine Street from the fire department marshal from the gazebo to, I thought it was Frankie's, I don't know what I should call that now. That's old. And then Lincoln behind the gazebo, and in March we heard a public comment from you two, that you've got a separate event, and then we heard from Matt Schell from Founder's Day Committee that they would support and advertise that. It's just a question of, are we going to close Kingston Street? I do have the concern that I'd like to see it not closed in front of the liquor store. That would be my hope, just because when we did the street project and we had it closed, that worked out good, I think, with the barricade there and enough room for people to turn around. But we do not want anybody going through the back door of that liquor store, because there's just, so I shouldn't say it out loud, but I mean, I have security concerns about the back door. But so I'm not comfortable with that exact arrangement, but would like to hear what else we could come up with.
So in the liquor store, Jake, is that back door, is it like a panic lock or is it just a straight key?
It's a
lock?
key, but that is more of a storeroom than anything else. And so we wouldn't,
But why
Are you
do
allowed to
people,
keep it locked?
yeah.
Then,
why can't they go to the front door even though they don't park out the front door?
Well, if we close all of Kingston Street, they wouldn't be a parking front.
Right, but they can park in the public parking lot behind it or on Grove Street and walk to the front door.
It could.
And they had, and when the street project was going on, and we're here to attest, that Grove Street was full of liquor store traffic. And
Sure.
it didn't seem to be too much of an issue.
And in our back alley too. I mean, people will walk 2 blocks to get their beer.
Sure. So do
If
you
they
want,
want beer, they're gonna,
to close it from Grove to Kingston? Is that it, or are you closing it from Washington?
would like to have it closed from Washington to
Main Street.
to Main Street. I mean, we have over 20 vendors already.
And you said Matt, is he head of the Founders Day?
He is, so he's in support of that. I have also had several conversations with Joe at the liquor store, and he didn't seem at all concerned. I don't know if that's, what kind of an impact his opinion has.
Sure.
I do want to say too that we're working with him to do some promotional things to showcase the liquor store. We're going to have some very cool gimmicks, so to speak, to engage people. So I think that will generate even more traffic for the liquor store.
How long would the street be closed?
From 8 till 3. So our vendors are there from 9 to 2. So I would just think maybe an hour ahead of time for them to set up the tents and us to get all organized, and then, an hour to tear down. So the street could open again at 3.
So, as a Main Street business owner whose business goes from 7 a.m. till noon, how do my customers get to the business? We're closed on Main Street, we're closed from Main Street down to Washington, are we closed on Grove? I mean, how?
Yeah, you'd, because the stage goes on Marshall, and then they usually use Simcac.
Right, so the back alley is closed, so.
What's it been like other years?
It's tough.
Off the record? No,
Yeah.
It is not,
You can just say it. You don't have to be.
I knew you were gonna look at me. Founders Day does not bring business to the bakery. In fact, I lose business. And people say, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But, my customers are 7 a.m., 11 o'clock, pretty much, it's kind of dies off. They like to come with their children. It's a Saturday ritual. They want to park. They want to get out. They're not going to park 2 blocks away with their kids. Older people are not going to park 2 blocks away, or maybe, I don't know where they park now. If Kingston's not even an option.
I wonder, could we get permission from the old auto, whatever that, that big empty lot right now where the car lot used to be? Could we get permission from them for overflow traffic parking for just that day? Pardon me?
Sounds like a liability problem to me, but.
For them to just park in that lot?
Well, that, you could always ask.
I mean, why,
Well, if somebody ran into somebody else, I guess that's.
in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Well, that could happen in our city parking lot, couldn't it?
Oh, of course.
So that's our
That's our city lot.
liability. It's now it's their
but-
liability.
See, there's really no,
Yeah.
there's no lines for parking. It'd be,
Mhm.
I think.
Oh,
it'd be
that's no
nice.
line, okay.
So it was what I'm hearing, that the street would be closed, like what time would Main Street be closed?
Okay, so I'm trying to remember last week. I was on picnic table duty last week, so I know we had it all, Main was open.
I think they usually close it around 9-ish.
Yeah, they close it when they start whatever they were doing that morning. The car show.
I think the car show starts at like 10:30.
It should have stayed home. They close it earlier than that. I mean,
Yeah.
one year they close it at like before 8 o'clock.
Maybe close it when their volunteers get there.
I know, and it's, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I'm always Susie Sunshine, you know, but it, you know, I love the festival, I love the community, but it detracts from my business. Whether I've got people who are picking up cakes, and, you know, we've done our best to say, you know, we'll bring the cake to your car, and we have to go clear down past Elsie's with the customer, because that's where they had to park when you was over by Elsie's to get to me. So I know the purpose is to bring people, and I know Amanda's business is different, but we're done. We're closed at noon. We open at 7. We closed at noon. It doesn't make sense to say, well, why don't you stay open and maybe you'll sell more donuts. The traffic, people don't do donuts after whatever. They're gonna go, which rightly so. They're gonna go to they're gonna get a sandwich, or they're gonna go to the boys basketball who are selling tacos, or somebody else is doing whatever. So. We just decided that, you know, I don't know, we just do what we do, and, you know, hopefully we have a good day. But it really matters when that street gets closed. But what I'm hearing, and even if you say 9, it's gonna close as soon as they want. Because if they feel like customers are parking and they can't get them out of there by the time the car show comes, then they panic, and that's what happened one year, and they closed the street down like at just after 7. So, I don't want to close the bakery, which is what they've done in the years past. You know, it's a beautiful building, it's a beautiful attraction to Main Street, don't want to do that. I just want to know what can I expect? So if everything is going to be closed, what can I expect? So just out of courtesy, what can I expect as far as parking capacity?
So if they close Kingston, do you think that'll affect the parking for you too?
Well, I think it's just a whole parking issue. So, you know, I mean, okay, so if you're a customer and you're coming to the bakery, where are you going to park?
Talk to the attorney's office.
You can't, because they have the snowpack truck there with the cold storage, so you can't,
They use that as staging.
so. So there's no easy answer, because the greater good is what is important. I just wanted to voice that, you know, I totally support Founder's Days. And we'll do, you know, we'll open and we'll be there, but it's just helpful for me to know what is going to happen with street closes, so I can plan accordingly with product and stuff like that. So, but we'll be fine.
Suzanne, I'd like to have a couple discussions with people in the next week or two.
Okay,
Can we do that?
sure.
I don't think that making a decision right now is the right thing to do.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Or something. We need a map in front of us.
Yeah, we need to, but we, I think maybe there's something we can do to help her a little bit. I don't know what it is. or
Yeah,
how we do it.
I think a map would be good, you know, and as we get more businesses on Main Street, you know, it's great. But yeah, a map would be really good. And then, you know, the
I don't want
downtown.
this to be a bad thing for you. I want it to be a good thing.
Well, and that's
Founder's
why
Day
I'm
is like a
saying-
good day for you.
I
Why
know, I
can't
mean,
it be?
it's a
Why-
misnomer that everybody thinks that I just do gangbusters on Founder's Day. Oh my gosh, they just gotta be coming in, and they don't, because they're gonna come in later, so where there's no parking, whatever. But that's, you know, that's fine. Like I said, the greater good is the festival and everything that they're doing and everything that everybody's doing and the good that comes out of it.
Well, and I think too that we'll have other activities starting early at 9 that might generate quite a bit of traffic for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we, you know, I plan on having the streets full. So
So
I think we'll be
communication,
sending some people to go get donuts.
yeah, communication would be key, you know, street signs, coffee this way, coffee and donuts this way, you know, just to give the old fashioned, you know, you see in Europe where it says 20 kilometers to whatever, but the old fashioned markers that say coffee and donuts, you know, half a block, whatever. But I think it would be important, if we're going to do that, then you need to make it an experience that you are. It's our city, what do they call those? Square. Make it a city square, and then at every cross corner you have where people can go to. You know, that would be another idea.
I think that's a great idea.
Does our lot fill up on Founder's Day? Was that, the gravel lot, was that full last year? Just wondered about.
It's hard, I wasn't, because it's Father's Day weekend, so I'm usually up in the city, so no.
All right, so we're not gonna do anything with that one, Jake?
So I guess
What do we need to do?
if you want, you can assign a committee to it. If you just want general government to take it, or we can just table it until the next meeting and I can set something up between whoever you want to meet and we can look at this a little bit closer.
Could be something for the planning commission to go with that too.
Anybody want to be on the committee? Amanda would like to be, perfect.
I would
John?
love to.
You don't want to, you don't have to. but I'm
Yeah,
scared
if you want, if you want to assign it to member Rock and member Nimitz, yep, we'll take it from there.
Perfect.
Perfect. Good job.
So what's
Thank you.
happening?
Well,
We're
Yeah,
sorry,
you
our
need to-
end,
It'll come back to the next meeting.
the next meeting.
well, so, I mean, we're out of agenda items. Do the 5 or 6 of us, or however many, just want to set a meeting now, if you have time coming up?
That would be great.
I'm available, I got all day tomorrow for the most part.
I am available in the morning until 10, or in the afternoon after. No, not in the afternoon, tomorrow.
No afternoon tomorrow.
I'm available anytime.
I'm available at 10 o'clock tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I don't.
Until we're done.
Yeah, so like 9.
9, I'm available.
John?
Right?
What do you
9
mean?
o'clock tomorrow right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice job.
Is there anybody else you'd like to bring to that?
You can be there, Suzanne?
Yeah, I can be there.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I think we'll be good.
Yeah. D is overtime report, pay period March 17th through 30th.
This was just a big snowstorm. I today did authorize some overtime in the police department. They're working on a specific case where I want them to be on it a little bit more. So there's going to be some more overtime in the next one, but this one is just a snowstorm for the most part.
Next regular council meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 28th, 6 p.m. And I will adjourn the meeting.
Further delivery.
What's that?
Further delivery on.
He works for free.
Oh,